What's up, my friends? All right, today I'm going to attempt to show you how I throw cards, what kind of cards I use, and hopefully this can help you out. I get a lot of messages on those two questions, so hopefully this helps you out. Let's get into it. All right, first, how do you hold the card? Well, I completely changed my technique about 2 or 3 months ago, so I'm no professional by any means. I only started throwing cards in December of last year, and I originally was throwing them like a poker dealer from the top right corner, and that turned out to not be very efficient. I had a lot of soreness in my arm. Card doesn't fly as far, so I decided to completely change my technique, practice some other ways, and this is how I currently do it. So grab a card, take your middle and pointer finger like scissors, cut off the top left corner, like so. That's how I do it. Hold that very tight. I usually have a little triangle right here. And I tuck the card in and bring it to my chest. And that's really how I hold it. These other fingers aren't doing much, maybe resting. The thumb is resting on the top. The middle and pinky, same thing, kind of holding the bottom in place. And that's it. That's how I hold the card. And you can kind of change this. Some people kind of cut it off even. But for me, I'm normally cutting off the top left corner. Have a little space right here. All right. Now that you know how to hold the card, where do you release the card? Okay, this is going to depend a lot on how you set up your target, how far away you are. So you can pretty much play with this whole range of release points. So for me, I'm typically releasing somewhere in the middle to up here if I'm further away. For my closer shots, some of my bounce shots, I'll have like the racket a lot closer. I'm more releasing right here. That way the card's pretty much, it turns over really quick. The further I'm away, the higher my angle, because it takes a second for the card to go and turn. So I would just say play with this whole range of release points. See what works for you, see what feels comfortable for you. You know, set a target away 10, 12 feet or so and just start practicing like that. So on your release, everything's tucked in. Got the card tucked in, my thumb's resting on the top, fingers on the bottom. On the release, it's all in your wrists. So as you release, it's just a snap of the wrist right here. So just practice that. As you get further away, I use a little bit more arm movement and a harder snap. But for closer shots, you shouldn't need a lot of movement in your arm here. It's mostly wrist. So just practice, 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 practice. What kind of cards to use? Well, you got plastic and you got paper. I just buy standard poker size cards. I got Bicycle for the paper cards. I got these black plastic cards. The link is in the bio for these. It'll take you right to the Amazon link. So these are really cool. Plastic lasts longer for sure. I've had these 5, 6 decks for 7 months now, and some of them are broken, but most are nice. Paper cards are much more difficult for me. I started with plastic first. So when I picked up paper, they fly much further. They do curve more, and they're not so consistent for me because as soon as you bend them, a corner or the middle, it'll completely change your flight. So it's more difficult in my opinion, as I started with the plastic. So I would just say grab plastic and paper, throw them both, see what you like better. Try to get good at both if you want, and go from there. As I said, like your release point can pretty much be anywhere in this angle. So for a closer shot like this, I was releasing right here. That way the card turns over really quick because the racket was only about 10 feet away or so. But for a further shot like this glue stick was 30 feet away.
Oh my gosh.
I was releasing more up here. And you'll see the flight pattern change as you release. So just play with it, have fun with it, and I hope this tutorial helps. Thanks, guys.